Shalom. All praise to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the elders of GMS. Alright. It's the brother Kwahalat Ahmad. Alright, from the GMS Missouri. And today is just an update on the news, what's going on. And I wanted to start out with a scripture. And I'll try to fix the light for you guys today so you can see these videos a little better. But the first scripture that I have, we're going to read Psalms 9 and 6. Bear with me for the light. It says this is Psalms 9 and 6. And this is actually, this verse is hit one of my top favorites right now, man. Because the way this verse comes out. This is verse 9, verse 16. This is what the Most High is doing right now. Alright, people seem to think that he doesn't, uphold the righteous and he's let us go forever, but he hasn't, and he's redeeming us slowly but surely. This is Psalms 9 verse 16, and we'll start at 13. It says, "Have mercy upon me, O Lord, consider my trouble which I suffer." And what trouble is this? This is Israel, and all this is a parabolical saying of what Israel was going to go through in these last days. What we're going through now and back then. Alright, it says, "Have mercy upon me, O Lord, consider my troubles which I suffer, of them that hate me. Thou that lifted me up from the gates of death, that I may show forth all all thy praise." Okay, and who has he lifted up from the gates of death is the elect. Alright, because you Bible reading people don't understand this book, that that Yahweh Shai, which you ignorantly call Jesus, gave his life for a set number of men. Okay, set number of, how you say, elect, that will make it out of this second death. It says, "That I may show forth all thy praise in the gates of the daughters of Zion." So that's what the Most High is raising up the elect to do. To go through the gates of Zion, not the computers of Zion, not the halls of Zion, not a church of Zion. It says go through the gates. And where's the gates? In the city, in the streets. 14th Street, pussy. And it says, "Praise in the gates of the daughter of Zion. I will rejoice in thy salvation. The heathens are sunk down in the pit that they made." And what America's made its pit, okay? It put that thick clay on itself. It's put itself in its debt. It's built up on the blood and sweat and tears of the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. So this place has did what it's did according to the scriptures, man. And it's laid in a snare, because now the Most High is going to destroy it because of the homosexuality, because of the fornication, because of the idolatry, because of all of the wickedness that goes on here. The Most High has laid it in a snare. Now the Most High has to move on this place. It says, "The heathens are sunk down in the pit that they made, in the net which they had hid in their own foot taken. The Lord is known by the judgment which he executed. The wicked is snared in the works of his own hand." Alright? So let's get this video started.
There is breaking news now from the war in Syria, and this could be reports that chemical weapons have been used in that conflict. Now, if confirmed, this would be the first time that chemical weapons have been entered into this ongoing civil war, a war that stretches for 2 years. But which side used it? Now, state-run Syrian news agency claiming that 25 are dead in a rebel chemical attack in northern Syria. That means the government in Damascus is blaming the rebels. Connor Powell working this story live at our Middle East Bureau with more from there. Connor, what can you report?
Well, Bill, there's a lot of conflicting information right now coming out of Syria. According to Western intelligence officials, they tell us that unlike the reports that we're hearing right now out of Syria, that in fact it was the Assad regime used some type of chemical weapons on rebels in northern Syria, around the Aleppo region. Now, of course, the Assad regime and the Assad state television have said that rebels used those weapons. But what we're hearing right now from Western intelligence officials is just the opposite, that in fact it was the Assad regime used some type of chemical weapons and killed somewhere between 15 and 26 people. Again, conflicting reports. We've heard 15. We've also heard 26. So there is a lot of different information right now, but we have confirmed, of course, that there have been some type of chemical weapons being used in Syria. Now, who's used them on exactly which group is still very much unclear right now, Bill.
Connor, thank you. It's just one line that's crossing the Associated Press at the moment here. Reuters was reporting on this a bit earlier as well. So,
And y'all better get ready to look at this, man. Why the Most High has us looking over us, looking at this? He's saving this place last, man. The elites want America to look like this. They're gonna have so-called patriot movements, these one percenters or whatever, these preppers, these patriots. They're gonna be the rebels, man. Okay? And you people that don't want to take the chip, this is gonna be the environment, man. You're gonna have uprisings and you're gonna have different guerrilla wars, man. In the United States, it's coming here.
we're sorting through this now on our end. Connor, come back when you have more. Thanks from Jerusalem there. Martha?
Our thanks to him. And this is breaking news right now. We want to bring in Ambassador John Bolton.
That's it. I didn't want to touch too much on that. You guys can go look that up. I got a lot of information to come out, so we're just going to keep it moving. This next report, rockets were flown in at Obama. And another report, Obama's car, the Beast, what they call the Beast, broke down in Israel. All right, it broke down because they put regular fuel in the diesel engine. All right, because over there they probably ain't got too many diesels over there. All right, it's taking that type of gas. All right, so they don't probably enrich that fuel like that. So let's go in. This is rockets that were fired at Gaza.
Fire now in Israel. Police there saying that Hamas militants in Gaza fired 2 rockets into that country, slamming a border town. This is President Obama meets with Palestinian leaders today in the West Bank. Connor Powell's live in the town of Sderot, Israel, southern part of the country where police say one of those rockets landed. Connor, hello.
Well, Bill, Israeli officials have actually upped the number to 4 rockets that have been fired from Gaza into southern Israel earlier today. And while much of the physical damage is fairly minor here, Bill, you can see it was just a little bit of damage to a patio. There's also the emotional damage. This is the second time this house here in Sderot has actually been damaged in the last 4 or 5 months. There's also the symbolic damage. The ceasefire, the very fragile ceasefire that was agreed to in Thanksgiving has been broken.
And y'all know, ain't no way the Gazans or the Palestinians would shoot a rocket when Obama's there, man. That's the dumbest shit. I mean, that's just dumb. Come on now. This is a false flag all damn day. All right, this probably was a Israeli rocket, man, that was fired on there, just so they could be like, oh look, this is what the Gazans put us through. Slovakia. That's what they saying. Look what Gaza's doing to us. Just wanted to point that out.
Broken. And Bill, there's no doubt that this volley of rockets that came from Gaza was tied to President Obama's trip here to Israel and to the West Bank earlier today.
Yeah, you know, you wonder what has been said either out of Gaza or even Hamas. What are they trying to say here with this, Connor?
Well, Bill, I think it's clear. We don't know if it was Hamas or Islamic Jihad, but it's clear coming out of Gaza that this is the Palestinians in Gaza saying, don't forget about us. We're part of this equation here. President Obama is meeting with the Israeli leaders and the Palestinian Authority leaders in the West Bank. They're not meeting with Hamas or other groups from Gaza. So it's clear that this is probably a Palestinian effort from Gaza to say, hey, we're here. We're part of the equation. Don't forget about us. But, of course, Gaza doesn't want to meet with U.S. and Israeli officials. They're not even on speaking terms, really, to the Palestinian Authority right now. So it's not clear what they want out of this other than to sort of scare the world with these rocket attacks.
Sometimes this is a daily occurrence. Has it been that way lately, Connor?
The ceasefire is actually held for the last 4 months. I think there was maybe 1 rocket attack sometime in the last 4 months, but there has been this very fragile ceasefire that was signed and implemented since Thanksgiving after that very deadly week of fighting between Israeli and Palestinians in Gaza. But so far it's held, but right now, who knows what's going to happen next? That's always the fear. There's always...
All right, that's it on that. And